everyone. How are you all? You're doing good? Okay, so why are we here in this session? We're going to learn about a digraph, which is this one, this O-U. So when O and U is put together, it makes the sound. What does it make? Ow! Ow! Yes, perfect. That is the sound which it makes. So O is also a vowel and U is also a vowel. So when these two vowels they come together, it makes the sound ow. And how do we show? By the sound of this, I definitely know that you would have guessed it right. The action ow, ow. Okay, so but before we proceed, let us listen to this beautiful story of Emily. Okay. So Emily was a very small girl, just like you all, and she loved her grandma a lot. And you know what? She loved to visit her grandma's place every holiday. Whenever there was a vacation, she always made sure that she'll go and visit her grandma's house. So this time, Emily had a plan. Like today, this time, I'm going to go and ask my grandma how to sew. I'm going to learn how to sew. So she went and she knocked the door of grandma's house. The grandma opened the door. She was very surprised to see Emily. Hi Emily, how are you? And then they spoke for a long time. And then Emily said, Grandma, this time can you please teach me how to sew? I'm so eager to learn stitching from you. You sew so well and you sew so many clothes for me. So I want to learn stitching from you. So the grandma said, okay my dear, I'm definitely going to teach you how to sew. So what happened? So they both sat on the couch. It was the couch. And they both sat on the couch. And Emily also had bought her favorite toy along. It was a clown. Yes, you see a clown. You can see that the house of grandmother is beautifully decorated. Yes, you see a portrait here, which is that of an owl. Okay, she had an owl portrait. And you see this small animals running here and there. What is that? Wow, it's a mouse. It's a cat. The cat is chasing the mouse. And then you see a lovely small window. Okay. And through that window, she had a lovely farm outside. A beautiful farm outside. There was a cow which was grazing there. Right? Next, now it was time for Emily to learn how to sew. So, grandmother took her needles and she took a piece of cloth and yarn and she was teaching Emily. This is how you hold the needle and this is how you stitch. So, but Emily, she was very much enthusiastic and she wanted to do it by herself. So she took the needle and what did she do? She tried to pierce the cloth through the needle. But when she was doing so, unfortunately, she hurt her thumb and she shouted, ow, ow. And the grandma, she thought, oh my God, what happened to my Emily? Oh dear, what happened? So she said, Grandma, I hurt my thumb. So she said, okay baby, don't worry. I'll help you. Okay, so don't worry, don't feel very bad or don't feel frowned that you couldn't do it the first time, but I'm going to help you out. Okay, so how did she shout? How did Emily shout? Emily, when she got hurt, she shouted, ow, ow. And this is the sound when you also get hurt. This is how you shout, right? Correct? Okay, so now we are going to learn the song which represents this digraph ow. Okay, can we sing it together? I pricked my thumb with a needle. Ow, ow, ow. ow, ow, ow. I pricked my thumb with a needle. Ow, ow, ouch. One more time, we'll sing this. I pricked my thumb with a needle. Ow, 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 ow. I pricked my thumb with a needle. Ow, ow, ouch. So this is the song for this digraph. Ow, ow. Alright, so now we are going to see some words which has this sound. Okay? So now we will move on to the word part. Okay, so first I am going to write a word on the board. Okay, so it is. What word is it? Now in this word there is a digraph which we have learned just now, and it is ow. Ow. This is the action. Ow. And what's the sound of this letter? There's a single sound, okay? So when you join these two sounds together, ow, it becomes out. Correct. It becomes out. Now, next word, okay? So next word which I'm going to write is, okay. So can you guess how many digraphs do you see in this word? I want you to first underline the digraphs. Okay? So I guess you would have done it by now. So I am also going to underline the digraphs. Okay? So the first digraph and the second digraph. So how many digraphs do we have? We have two digraphs. So what's the first digraph sound? It is shh. What's the second digraph sound? Ow. And what is the third letter sound? So we put together all these three sounds. Yes? Shh. Ow. Shout. Is shout. Ah, shout. Now the third word. Okay. Okay. So now you are going to underline the digraph in this word. Okay. Alright, so I guess you would have underlined the digraph now. Okay, so we have only one digraph in this word, okay? And we have two single sounding letters here. So it is ow. Loud. Loud. So what it is? Out. Loud. Very good. It is loud. Now next it is b. I guess we can write it here. B. Ow. So now can we put together all these three sounds? B. Ow. It is bout. Bout. Alright? So this is how we read a word. Okay? So first, the moment you write a word, first, what is the first step? You have to search for the digraph if we have any in the word. So search for the digraph. That's the first step. If you have a digraph, underline the digraphs. Okay, you may have 1, 2 or 3 digraphs in a word, that's okay. But you have to underline the digraph so that you know that is how you are going to read the digraph. So you will not read it as instead you will be reading it as shh. So you know it when you underline the digraph. Okay, so the next part is second step. You are going to say the sounds of each digraph and the letter sounds of any. The third step, you are going to blend and read the complete word. So these three steps you are going to follow whenever you are reading a word. Alright, first is seeing the word. Second step is underlining the digraphs if you have any. Then third is blending and reading the word. Alright. So I hope you enjoyed the session. So see you on the next session. Bye bye.